Hello and welcome to HeliPilotGh, where I dive into critical aviation stories and what they mean for us here in Ghana. And today I'm breaking down the tragic mid-air collision over the Potomac River in Washington, D.C. And this is an incident that unfortunately left 67 people at the other side of life. And I'll discuss what are the probable causes and what lessons can be learned, and most importantly, whether Ghana's airspace could face similar risks. Please buckle up and let the conversation begin because you need to hear this. So it's not my intention to prejudice the investigation. I'm just here to stir up the conversation to see how we can relate this to our setting here in Ghana. Very important. So on the evening of January 29, 2025, an American airline passenger jet was on its final approach to Reagan National Airport. That's in Washington, D.C., America. And the aircraft was carrying 64 passengers and crew and had just a few minutes to touch down. But unfortunately, disaster struck. At the same time, a U.S. Black Hawk helicopter was conducting some operations nearby. And investigators later found out that the helicopter was flying above its approved altitude. That's when the unthinkable happened. The two aircraft collided mid-air and sending both plunging into the freezing waters of the Potomac River. According to one of the U.S. news agencies, rescue teams arrived quickly, but due to the freezing temperatures and the impact force, there were no survivors. This was one of the deadliest aviation disasters in U.S. history. Investigators from the National Transportation Safety Board, which is more like the body that covers these issues in America, recovered the black boxes and determined that the helicopter's altitude violation may have been a contributory factor. The air traffic controllers were coordinating multiple aircraft in the busy airspace. In just a few seconds, an irreversible tragedy unfolded. So could this have happened in Ghana? Now let's bring this to our discussion home. Ghana's airports, that's Kotoka International Airport, Tamale, Kumasi, Takrady, they accommodate both fixed wing and helicopters. If this collision happened in Washington, that's in the United States of America, a country with advanced aviation infrastructure, is Ghana at risk of a similar disaster? At our airports, it's not uncommon to see commercial jets taking off while helicopters also conduct their operations nearby. Ghana's airspace is gradually getting busier with growing commercial flights and military movements and an increase in private aviation. How dangerous is this? Well, the biggest risks will arise when different type of aircraft are sharing overlapping altitudes and flight paths. However, operators of helicopters tend to fly at lower altitudes than regular commercial jets. But if a pilot misjudges, then there could be a problem. Again, if there's a miscommunication between air traffic control and the crew, then this could lead to a disaster. So we realize that for most airports, helicopters fly opposite to fixed wing aircraft in their pattern, and helicopters are mostly vectored away from fixed wing aircraft. So you may even request for certain approaches when you're a helicopter approaching a busy airport, you may be denied because you interfere with traffic and your presence may be a hazard because you are slow. At the same time, you are given some privileges because you are a very maneuverable aircraft, so you can be asked to use certain VFR corridors, that's visual flight rule corridors, that will ease the tension and reduce the congestion and increase the coordination for safe operation in the space. So what can Ghana learn from this? I've highlighted this in 5 key steps. First of all, we have to enhance our air traffic control coordination. Our air traffic control must ensure clear and continuous communication with all pilots. This Potomac disaster sort of proves that even little or small miscalculation in altitude clearance can be fatal. We should also look at dedicated flight paths for helicopters and fixed-wing aircraft. I think that sort of operates here at the international airport in Ghana. You know, Ghana should consider stricter separation for different type of aircraft. Mostly, the aircraft that mostly operate in airspace are helicopters and fixed wing. I don't see any hot air balloons, so but so if these aircraft are assigned different approach routes and holding patterns, we can reduce the risks of collision or reduce collision risks. Also, we should ensure strict compliance. Pilots, whether you are military or civilian, must follow assigned altitudes at all times. If a helicopter pilot exceeds the designated airspace or altitude, air traffic control must intervene immediately. We have the regulator, and this regulator sort of enforces these regulations, and they maintain oversight responsibility over this. In fact, the authority has a safety management directive that outlines these protocols, but enforcement must be strict, and defaulters should suffer the consequence. Another important factor is also the practice of safety drills, that's regular safety drills and training. And we need to ask, how often do Ghanaian pilots, air traffic controllers, and emergency responders, all stakeholders conduct drills for mid-air collision scenarios like this? Regular simulations can prepare these professionals to react swiftly in emergencies so that they know how to deal with it when it happens. Public awareness for private and military pilots is also very important. Many helicopters in Ghana uh, are operated by the military and private companies, and it's important that the pilots are aware of commercial traffic routes and maintain coordination and sanity in this case. More training and coordination with ATC are crucial to prevent these accidents. What's my final call? This disaster was a tragedy that should never have happened. But if we take its lessons seriously, we can prevent similar accidents in Ghana. The safety of our skies depend on strict regulation and constant vigilance and a commitment to safety. And we must know that we cannot achieve 100% safety, but we can strive to get to 100% safety. Again, I wish to express my condolences to the families and all those involved in this incident. I hope that this will be the last, and I hope that strict measures will be taken to deal with issues like this. So what do you think? Should Ghana introduce more stricter restrictions for helicopters near commercial airports? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you found this episode insightful, let the conversation continue. If I left anything out, you can also let me know in the comment section. If you have any contribution, you can also let me know. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe for more aviation discussions. It's HeliPilotGh.